Hi everyone, my name is Hussein, and in this video we are going to talk about publisher subscriber pattern, or some people prefer to call it pub sub pattern. This pattern comes under messaging category of cloud design patterns, and it enables an application or a publisher to send messages or events to the consumer asynchronously. Also keep in mind that it could be one or more consumers, and this is one of the challenges that this pattern is trying to solve. How are we going to be able to send data or events or messages from one publisher to multiple subscribers or multiple consumers? And we are going to see this in more details in the examples. Let's assume that we have an application here, and this is going to be our publisher. And also we have a subscriber that's interested to receive information or events from the publisher. And in order to allow the publisher and subscriber to communicate without much dependency on each other, we need to introduce a message queue for the communication between them. By doing this, we allow the publisher to send as many data or messages as they like, without any dependency on how quick the subscriber is able to process these messages. And according to this, the publisher is going to send data or messages to the message queue, and from the other side, the subscriber is going to read or process these messages from the message queue to process them at their own pace. So far, we have integrated one publisher with one subscriber. Now, what if another subscriber is interested to join us? In this case, we would have to create another message queue and change our application code to allow it to publish messages to the new message queue as well. And then the yellow subscriber will be able to process these messages at their own pace. And for every new subscriber is interested to join, we are going to have to create an additional resource or additional message queue. And also we need to do some application code changes to allow the publisher to send the data or messages to the new message queue we have created. And this is not everything. We still need to create or apply some monitoring alerts mechanism for these message queues to see how they are performing, how many messages may be stuck in the queue, and how quick the subscriber is able to process these messages. So as we see in this architecture, it's not scalable enough, because every time a new subscriber comes in, we have to do something manually to allow them to receive our messages. And this is the challenge that this pattern is trying to solve. How are we going to allow multiple subscribers to receive the data or messages from the publisher asynchronously, without much dependency between them, and without doing manual work from our side, and to allow the solution to be more scalable for future? Now, after we have addressed the problem, now let's see how can we use the publisher subscriber pattern to resolve this problem. Now let's go ahead and clean this up. And then we are going to add one message queue. So the publisher is going to send or publish its messages to the message queue we have created. And then from the other side, the message queue is going to send its messages to all subscribers that are interested to receive our messages. And you might pause me here and say, this is not possible. One of the fundamental things about message queues is that it's able to send the message to one subscriber. Like, we cannot send one message to multiple subscribers in message queues. And this is one of the fundamental things about message queues. So how are we going to be able to send one message to multiple subscribers, although it's not allowed by message queues technology? And to answer this question properly, let's go ahead and have a quick review of the different messaging services in Azure platform. So we do have Azure Storage Queues and Azure Service Bus Queues. And both of these services support each message to be processed by one consumer or one subscriber. However, there is another Azure service called Azure Service Bus Topics. But this one has an ability to process messages by multiple consumers. And this is the one that we are going to be used in our solution. And getting back to our architecture here, we are going to be using Azure Service Bus Topic instead of Azure Service Bus Queue. And if you are not very familiar with Azure Service Bus Topics, it's pretty much a message queue, but with an ability to deliver a message to multiple consumers at the same time. And this is one of the key differences between topics and queues in Azure Service Bus. So in our architecture here, the publisher is going to publish or send messages to the Azure Service Bus topic. And then from Azure Service Bus topic, we are going to distribute the message to all subscribers that are interested to receive events or messages from us. Now, you might be asking, what if a new subscriber wanted to join our solution? And in this case, the new subscriber would just need to subscribe to the Azure Service Bus topic, and they should be able to get messages from our system once they have subscribed to that topic. And by doing this, we don't have to do any code changes on the publisher side for any new subscriber that is interested to join our solution. Also, we are going to build only one Azure component, which is Azure Service Bus topic. We don't need to create multiple or dedicated Azure Service Bus queues for each subscriber that is interested to join our solution. Also, we will need to build our monitoring capabilities only once for the topic we have created. This is how can we use Azure Service Bus topic to implement publisher subscriber pattern in a really nice and simple way. Now let's talk about some key considerations you need to keep in mind when you use the publisher subscriber pattern. And the first thing you need to do is to use existing technologies. You've seen in this video I've already used Azure Service Bus topics, and also you can use event hubs or event grid. What you don't need to do is to go ahead and build your own pub sub module. You don't have to do that as long as there are existing technologies out there. Also, you need to think of how are you going to handle the subscriptions for your solution. Are you going to allow the subscribers to go ahead to subscribe or unsubscribe on their own pace, or you want to develop some approval mechanism around the subscriptions for your solution? Also, you want to make sure that the messages in the message queue or in the topic are encrypted and secure, and only the authorized subscribers are allowed to access your messages. In some scenarios, you might have some subscribers are interested about subset of messages. In this case, it might be helpful if you develop multiple topics, and then you deliver your messages to the appropriate topic, to make it easier to the subscriber to subscribe to the topic that they are interested into. Also, you want to develop or implement a wildcard subscriber. This is to allow your subscribers to subscribe to all your topics by one action. This is assuming that you have developed multiple topics for your solution. Also keep in mind that this pattern is one-way communication between the publisher and subscriber. If the subscriber wants to send something back to the publisher, like acknowledgement message, it won't be possible by this pattern. You need to implement another pattern called request reply pattern or request response pattern. And hopefully we are going to make a video about it in future. Usually in message queues, the order of the messages is not 100% guaranteed until you are using FIFO queues, for example in AWS. However, generally speaking, the order of the messages is not guaranteed. Message queues are trying to deliver your messages based on FIFO, first in, first out. However, it's not guaranteed. And when you design your messages, make sure that your messages are idempotent operations. They are not depending on any other messages in the queue because you are not sure when your message is going to be delivered. Also, you can use a priority queue to give more priority to a particular message to get delivered to the subscribers before other messages in the queue. And we have talked about this pattern before in a priority queue pattern. And I'm going to put a link for this pattern if you are interested to review this video. Also, you need to handle poison messages in your solution. Poison messages are messages that kept failing over and over and over until the number of retries are consumed. And what you need to do in this case is to deliver these poison messages to a poison queue. So you are freeing the main queue for other messages. Poison queue is already implemented in most cloud message queues, and it's already built in Azure Service Bus queues or topics. Also, you need to handle the repeated messages. Generally speaking, in cloud message queues, the message is guaranteed to be delivered at least once. And there is a little chance that your message is going to be delivered more than once. and you need to handle these scenarios. There is a duplication detection option you can use straight away in Azure Service Bus queues or topics. And usually message in the message queues has an expiration time. Usually it's 14 days. And you need to define how long you need to keep your message alive in the message queue. And finally, you have an option to schedule your messages. So you are going to publish your message and put it in the message queue, but they are going to be available only at a certain time in future for the subscribers to process. Now let's see when you should use this pattern. When you want to broadcast information to multiple consumers. If you have only one consumer, you can still use Azure Service Bus queue. However, there is no reason that prohibits you from using Azure Service Bus topics to be prepared for future and to be prepared if other subscribers are interested to join your solution. Also very important to highlight that you are sending messages to the subscribers and you are not expecting a real-time response from them. As we said before, this pattern is a one-way communication from the publisher to the subscriber. We are not expecting any acknowledgement messages to be sent from the subscriber. Now we are coming to the end of this video. I hope now it's clear for you what the publisher-subscriber pattern is about, how you can implement it in Azure, what is Azure Service Bus topic, and how you can use it to implement this pattern to make the life easier for you to handle multiple subscribers at the same time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the comments below, and thanks for watching.